It's another beautiful morning here in Rainbow, Southern California. We're in what I like to call the bird sanctuary. There's the elephant fountain, many birds, bees, neighbors' cats come to get a drink here. Have a beautiful sunflower, couple sunflowers growing here. And we had to cut down a 300-year-old oak, and on top of it we've placed another fountain. You see a bird sitting on top of it, ready to get a drink of water. Keeps this wildlife hydrated here in this part of the garden. On the other side of the bird sanctuary, I have my spider plants that have just taken over this corner of the patio. And we have a blood orange tree here. Very delicious oranges we use for juicing. And we pan around over to here, and we have the second blood orange tree. They've been in the ground approximately 3 years. We walk up the steps to the front of the house, and this is my rose garden. The rose bushes have to be planted in pots because of the gopher infestation we have here. We set traps on a daily basis. If we don't, they'll eat everything in sight. My peach tree that I started from seed, and next to it a plum tree. Both of previous peach and plum trees were killed by gophers. A volunteer tomato plant, my basil, and potatoes in a 5-gallon container. Potatoes here. Some of my raised beds, a couple more of my compost bins. And patty pan pumpkins just growing so happily right here. In this bin we have beets, and we have an artichoke plant. Behind them are those pear tomatoes that seem to have taken over 2 raised beds. I've been trimming them back, trying to get my Roma tomato to have a little room to grow. And then we have a cucumber down there. Looks like it'll need to be picked today. Behind the cucumber, we have big rainbow tomatoes. And this one will be ripe in a few days. More of those crazy pear tomatoes. And we picked some beans off the bush bean plant last night. Very happy here. Another sunflower. watermelon plant. There's actually 3 in there. They're blooming very well. I don't see any. I just spied a watermelon. Can you see it right there? Little tiny guy. Yeah. So we will be having watermelons. Oh, I missed the cantaloupe. I'll have to go over to the cantaloupe. And here's our cantaloupe. We've already eaten 4. We have 4 more on here. They are so sweet and delicious. And behind it, you can barely see my husband's rhubarb. And of course, a basil plant that I let go to seed because the birds just, not the birds, sorry, bees love it. And down here's my second garden. I've got the zucchinis finally doing great. I have to check it every day so that it doesn't get overwhelmingly large. I want to make sure it stays small, edible size. There we go. You can see a nice zucchini on that one. It'll be ready in probably 2 days. And the corn is taken off. The corn is looking great. Have a few ears on it, and hopefully they will produce. And you can see my sunflowers. They're very, very tall. And this is the only rose bush that has survived being planted in the ground. It's doing beautifully this year. In the backdrop, my crepe myrtles. I have 3 of them. This one hasn't started to bloom yet. More sunflowers. Morning glories. This one's doing well. I have planted some on the edge of the driveway, and I have a gopher running around. He's already eaten the roots of one that stunted its growth, but it's still trying to grow. And I had to tie one up because it had fallen down. And a little late in the year, but I have my okra under those little dome caps. We haven't had a very warm summer this year. We only had a couple days of 90. Most of the time it's been 88. Here's my little dwarf peach tree. It's done very well. There's just 2 little peaches left on it that it appears that the birds have decided they're going to eat. This is a bearless lime tree. It's a dwarf. I like dwarfs. I don't like trees getting too tall. I can't pick them. And it's got lots and lots of limes on it. They're seedless and they're wonderful. You see them on there? And over here is a grapefruit tree. It does very well. There's a grapefruit underneath those leaves. Won't be ripe for quite a few months yet. Next to the grapefruit tree is the tangerine tree. Gives us hundreds of tangerines, and it's delicious. Over here I have a little Meyer lemon tree that has struggled and struggled due to the gophers just running around eating its roots. And here's another one of my avocado trees that had to be trimmed way back due to that heat wave we had 3 years ago. It's struggling to recover. Over here, I have my loquat tree. It's done for the season. We just trimmed it back. But it gives us a massive amount of loquats. They're delicious. Next to it, we have an apple tree. And this little tiny guy has like 5 different kinds of grafts on it, 5 different kinds of apples. And the only one I can remember the name of is a Granny Smith. It may also have Gala apples, but all the tags fell off, so I'm not sure all the different types. This is also a Meyer lemon. It's been in the ground 10-15 years, and it's got quite a few lemons on it. They're very, very mild flavored, almost sweet, not tart like your most lemon trees. This is an Annie apple tree. The apples were quite small on it this year. They're about ripe and they're good. It's struggled year after year because gophers, squirrels, rabbits, they abound in Rainbow. And this is my Granny Smith apple tree. They get ripe in October. And I spied a bloom on it when I was down here yesterday. Ah, there it is. Pretty little bloom. Not sure why it's blooming right now. It does have apples on it. Well, this is just another day in Rainbow. Hope you enjoyed today's tour. See you again soon.